I have a question here from a client just asking how different banks may come up with different valuations of over $100,000 in difference in value for the same property at the same time. Both banks were told that they were using external licensed valuer companies, so had no influence over their valuation. So, majority of banks and lending institutions do outsource their valuations to valuation firms who specify in those areas. So it really comes down to the individual valuer on the day and what sales evidence they can compile to justify their figures. Now, obviously, that can be contributed to the level of effort they put in to the sales analysis and the report. Obviously, they get paid per job and not per the figure. So it's always good to get two different opinions from a valuation perspective and choose the best one accordingly. Different banks have different restrictions on their criteria as well. And there's also three different types of valuation reports that can be done. There could be a desktop report, a curbside report, and a full valuation report. We obviously like the full valuation report because the valuer walks through the property. They can see the internal condition as well as the external, and also they get paid a higher fee. So with desktops, they don't get the ability to walk through it, and they have to account for that risk in potential internal or external damage. So you don't want to be putting your signature to a valuation which you haven't had enough sufficient evidence to support the internal condition. Obviously, they can go off previous sale photos, but it's the same for the curbside as well. You really want to just try and focus on those full valuation inspections as you get a more accurate figure from the valuer. Now, valuation firms and your major banks, they like to use sales within the last 3 to 6 months, which is good. But in a market like this, it's moving very quickly, and sales over 2 months old are dated in some areas. And we do hope that the valuers put as much effort as we do into their valuation reports. However, there always is that human element, which would probably explain the $100,000 difference there. In saying that, it's got to be within context. If there's a $2 million property and you're $100,000 out, you're within 5%, which isn't as bad as, say, a $400,000 property where you're out $100,000. That's 25%, and that's really unacceptable. In that case, I'd also look at a disputed valuation, which you can put through with your broker. You can also get a secondary opinion and go through a different lending institution. I know it's a pain in the backside, but these are the other realities of it. If you're looking at valuing your principal place of residence, it's always nice to be courteous to the valuer that's walking through. They are professionals, but they are also time constraint. And if you're looking at doing 10 reports a day, it can be quite a full-on process for them. But yeah, there's no exact science behind it. We utilize the direct comparison method. So you look at like with like properties that have been selling in the area to the subject property that you're valuing. And you also look at the summation method for residential. So that's valuing the land and also looking at what value the improvements provide to that land, and marrying those two methods together to help come up to that valuation figure. And you need the sales evidence to support it. So basically, in summary, get two different opinions at least and go with the best one. And just be smart about it and don't be afraid to put in that disputed valuation query. But if you do put a dispute in, it's always good to put context around it with comparable sales evidence to justify the requirement of change. So I hope that helps. Any further questions? Always here. Give me a yell. Thanks. Bye.